It's Public Safety Month, and you want to talk about public safety. So, what's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well, we were very successful in this year's operating budget to increase the amount of funding for public safety staffing grants. It was established about 4 years ago via an amendment that myself and my then colleague, Senator Barry Feingold from North Andover, who also represents Lawrence, we were able to get, at that time, $2 million for police staffing grants. 4 or 5 years ago, the real issue, both in Fall River and in Lawrence, was, as Chief Racine says, boots on the ground, to get police officers' staffing levels up so that they can put walking beats in and focus on community-based policing. That has evolved now to $4.25 million for public safety staffing grants. So not only does police officers qualify for staffing grants, but so does our fire department and our EMS services. And Fall River has been the greatest benefactor of those staffing grants. It is now October. The RFP, which is the grant proposal, hit the street literally last week. Our office has been in touch with both the Fall River Police and Fire Departments to let them know the grant's on the street, fill it out, we'll bird dog it for you. And we're hoping that Fall River once again will be the recipient of close to $1 million in public safety staffing grants.
And what does that mean for the average Fall River taxpayer, though? What does that mean, very simply? Very
simply, it's money directly related to staffing to ensure that there are, once again, boots on the ground from our police officers and firefighters in the various fire stations ready to respond to an emergency.
Now, does this mean that would save lives? Does it mean that there'll be less arrests in terms of crime?
Well, we oftentimes don't spend enough time or energy on prevention. Mm-hmm. So if we prevent crimes from happening, there will be less arrests and there will also be less crime. If we prevent fires from happening by focusing on preventive measures, then there'll be less fires and property and life saved due to tragedy of a fire. But we in Fall River very much have tremendous respect for our first responders, whether they're police or fire or EMS, and it's limited what we can do at a state level because that's primarily a local responsibility. But when we're able to help with staffing grants in the past, we're able to help with equipment, whether it's new air packs for the fire department or new bulletproof vests, unfortunately, that we have to provide for our police officers. We were in the past able to get some capital money for equipment also.
And let's bring it down a notch. Let's just talk as human beings in a sense, as opposed to a senator.
Right.
What would you like Fall River parents to tell their children in terms of public safety?
I would hope that parents would tell their children to, first of all, respect our public safety personnel, to emulate them. Just watch the 9/11 tragedy in New York City as hundreds of thousands of people were running away from this dangerous situation, all the first responders that were running into this danger. These are real heroes, and there are different ways to be heroes, but these are folks that every day are ready, willing, and able, and prepared to put their lives on the line to save your life or my life, and I view them as heroes.
And people should just respect that.
And people should respect that.
And children should understand that.
Right. And from the public safety folks that I know, whether they're police officers or firefighters, they really enjoy it when a little kid comes up to them and says, "Hi, police officer, how are you?" and ask questions, and they want to forge that personal bond with the community.
Yes, and we should also have parents say, "Hey, here are some safety plans in place. If there is a fire, this is what we do," and that sort of thing.
Right. Right.
We were talking about that off air, actually.
Yes. Yes. Good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Nice to see you, Donna.
Same here.
Yes. Good.
Okay.